Hey, Trailblazers. In this episode, we're talking about market disruptors that you need to adapt to in order for your business to thrive in 2026. So stick around.
If you want to build a legitimate, profitable online business without shiny objects, without the hypey gimmicks, and without the stress and overwhelm, if you want to make more money without having to be present online all day, every day, pumping out content that nobody sees and hustling DMs to generate leads and sales, then this is the place for you. Welcome to the Digital Trailblazer Podcast, your online business university, where you'll learn how ordinary people start from ground zero with no influence, no email list or audience to sell to, and no business or marketing experience, and go from working 9-to-5 jobs to building successful 6- and 7-figure online businesses and all the steps in between. Learn the strategies that worked and what didn't. Learn the mistakes that they made and how to avoid them, and then learn their plans for scaling their businesses and taking things to the next level. All so that you can build your business faster and easier and make more money without sacrificing the things that are important to you in your life. I'm your host, Leah Ray Getz, and with me is my husband, Todd. Now let's get to it with today's guest.
Hey, everybody. I am super excited to be back with you today on our 200th episode of the Digital Trailblazer Podcast. So thank you so much for being with us on this journey. This has been amazing. And we thought this would be a great time to do sort of a check-in and see what's coming down the pipeline, being that it's at the beginning of January 2026. Things are always adjusting and shifting. And how do you make sure your business stays on top, or that you're able to reach the top this year in 2026 with all the crazy stuff that's happening? There's some big market disruptors that have been on the scene for a while and are just getting bigger. And it's definitely time that you set your business up for success through all of this. So we're going to start off by talking about two very specific market disruptors that we see just continuing to grow and disrupt even more moving forward. And then we're going to kind of shift gears and talk about how do you adjust and how do you thrive in the midst of this sort of disruption, and how do you really still own your space and do really well. So the first one of these shouldn't be a shocker. It's been around for the last few years, and it's really just getting more and more mainstream use, and that's AI. And really for coaches, I think there's been a lot of fear. There's been a lot of, well, why would I hire a coach? I could just use AI. There's been a lot of kind of discussions around this. So yes, AI is here. It's not going anywhere, and it is a market disruptor, but you can still do awesome things in the midst of it.
Yeah, and I think it's important here to talk about what AI is doing and what it's not going to do, and maybe some of the hype that was around AI at the beginning, and really whether it can fulfill what that hype was. Because I think what was said early on when this was first breaking onto the scene was that this is going to replace jobs. People aren't going to have to work anymore. If you're a coder, if you do any type of creative work with writing or filmmaking or photography or anything like that, that all these jobs are just going to get replaced by AI. And the thing is, people were saying this as early as like 2023, and they were saying by 2025, 2027, that we were going to have this full AI takeover. And I think what we've seen now is that that just isn't happening. And in my personal opinion, it's just not going to happen, because I don't think AI will ever achieve the level of human intelligence that people think it will. AI does not have emotions. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have desires. It cannot distinguish between opinion and fact. There's a lot of limitations that AI has, that the best it's ever going to be able to do is to mimic human behavior and mimic human knowledge, but it won't ever achieve real intelligence. Because at the end of the day, all AI is a very sophisticated autocomplete. It's based on what they call LLM, large language model, which basically does a very good job at predicting what the very next word should be in a sentence based on some sort of input. And it still gets things wrong. They've found now that it's very easy to manipulate, to produce wrong facts and wrong outputs. At least in my opinion, I really feel that AI is kind of hitting that ceiling of what it's going to be able to do. It may get marginally better over time, but I don't ever think it's going to really replace a real human being. And we see that in numbers. When you look at companies that were early adopters of AI and went all in on trying to replace workforces and customer service and coders and things like that, what you found was that the companies that did that had to go back and rehire those people that they fired, because AI just wasn't living up to the hype. Now, that being said, AI is still a market disruptor because it can take a human being and make them much more productive and produce much better results.
But when I think of AI and in the coaching space, something that comes to mind is when I look back at the people that are hiring us, who pay for a high ticket coaching offer to get our assistance, they're not the people who are just trying to have AI tell them what to do. They are the people who understand the value of lived experience, and they want to put their money and their trust in a human being who can guide them through a process. So a difference that I kind of see with AI, and it's kind of funny because you hear everybody like, create an AI course, like create a course with AI in a few minutes. Okay, I think that's just like making those level of courses obsolete. Like people don't want to buy them because they understand, well, they could have just gone to AI and learned whatever AI was going to say right from AI and never had to pay you anything. It means that it's really, really important that you're building a brand. Whether you're selling coaching or whether you're selling a course, you need a personal brand behind it that people trust, because that's what they want to invest in. They want the guidance, the lived knowledge and wisdom that comes from a human who's been through this process, not just some data that's been regurgitated that may or may not be right or helpful from AI. And people who I know have been trying to do this on their own using AI, they've actually gotten kind of wise because they keep giving their AI, hey, tell me if this landing page looks good. Tell me if this is good copy. And now they're realizing, hey, I think it's just telling me what I want to hear. And I don't, obviously it's not a good landing page. My conversion rate is 10% or, whatever, right? But there's huge limitations. And the people who are purchasing coaching, at least what we're seeing from us, they're definitely the people that understand the value of getting a human's lived experience and being guided and walked through that process together.
Right. And this really just goes back to marketing basics, as in the value in what you sell isn't necessarily in the thing itself. If all your marketing is, hey, you should buy my program because my program is so great, if that's all you got, then people are just going to look for the cheapest program because your thing is going to be the same as the other thing. And all you're really going to have to compete on is price. And that's what AI gives you, is it gives you that thing that you can get for really cheap, and you're not going to be able to compete with that. Whereas if you build a brand, the thing that makes people want to pay high ticket prices is not the thing that you sell. It's, like Leah was saying, it's your lived experience, is that they get to learn it specifically from you. And so in your marketing, it can't just be about why my program is so great. The question that you need to answer is not, why should you buy your program? The question you need to answer is, why should they buy it from you? And when you answer that question, that's when you have a super profitable business that nobody can duplicate, that AI cannot replace. And that's the same thing that we've been teaching for years and years and years.
Now, just because AI isn't necessarily going to replace coaches, you do still need to address it, because that is something that people are out there thinking and using. And if you avoid that topic, you're going to be left in the dust. And we're going to get into that shortly, but I think that's important, right? So all of these things, basic things about branding, building trust and rapport, providing an experience and working with people, all of that is key. But at the same time, in your outward marketing and in the sales process, you can't just avoid talking about AI, because it needs to be part of that conversation.
Right. Well, and not only that, but I think it needs to be something that you're leveraging in your business as well, because it's something that allows you to do pretty good. Actually, I think we had a guest that came on that said this, is that AI is very good at doing B+ work. And I think he's exactly right. Like, it's not going to give you the very best, A+ type of production, but it can do a pretty good job. And if you put an intelligent human being behind it, you can really do a lot of good things very fast. And so being able to leverage that in your business, I feel like it's going to be a lot like other technologies that came along For example, when the internet came along and then suddenly everybody had websites, well, now you just kind of expect that if a business is in existence, they have a website, they have a Google business profile, they've published their hours, their location, they've got all these things on their Google business profile. And that's just one of the things that if you don't adapt to that, you're going to lose customers and clients. If you just expect people to look you up in the yellow pages and call you up whenever they have a question, you're losing customers.
And beyond this market disruptor, which I think affects everyone in the industry, there are some more specific ones. Like if you look at the weight loss industry, I mean, you have to be living under a rock if you do not know about GLP-1s and the huge boom in people who are taking them, people being prescribed them, the weight that's being dropped, all of these things. And I have seen people in the online space who are nutrition, fitness, weight loss coaches, and they're kind of missing the boat on this. They're either, number one, not addressing it at all, like it doesn't exist, or number two, they're just completely demonizing it and not actually seeing what's happening in the marketplace. Because the person that you're going to be marketing your services to, their neighbor just got on GLP-1s. And no matter how much you say it's horrible, they just dropped 40 pounds. This is the same person who's been trying to lose weight and not successfully for the last 5 years that they've known them. And so they're getting all of these other inputs. And if you're out there just, this is wrong, you shouldn't use these types of interventions, and this is bad, and you don't address why or what are the actual issues, or maybe, hey, it can be a tool, but if you miss X, Y, and Z, you're just going to gain the weight back. You have to address it as a whole, because your customer base, your prospects who are out there looking for solutions, they're going to be hearing it from somebody. And if they've got some kind of sexy, juicy solution that seems easier and faster, they want to say yes to that. And you need to address that in your marketing.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we've talked about for a long time, not just in our business, but even on this podcast. We had a guest come on. His name was Marty Marion, and I forget what episode it was. It might have been about 100 episodes ago that he came on and talked about this. But he talked about what he calls depositioning. And it's something that you need to do in your business. It's not just about what you do and how great it is what you do. It's also about how are you positioning yourself against the competition. Because here's the thing, if all you do is just talk about what you do and how it helps people and how great it is, the thing is that people are not dumb. People are being targeted with ads, and they're being targeted with content and given all these other options. And as long as people have options, they have questions. And when they have questions that are unanswered, then they have uncertainty. They're not sure what to choose. And so no matter how good it is, what you're doing is, if you leave these questions unanswered, people are still going to have objections like, well, I want to think about it. I want to check out other things. Give me some time to do some research, and then I'll come back to you. And then obviously they never come back. And so in your marketing, you always need to be addressing what your prospects' other options are. Not just other coaches, not just other courses and things like that, but what are their other options for achieving the same result? And this isn't just for weight loss. This is for any industry. And this isn't just specifically about GLP-1s. This is about anything that you're doing, whether you're a life coach, you're a business coach, you're a relationship coach, whatever it is, you need to be addressing these other methods that people are using to get the same result that you help people to get. And so if that's weight loss, well, then you need to be addressing GLP-1s. You also need to be addressing ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, apple cider vinegar recipes. You need to be addressing all these other things that people may be considering to help them to achieve that goal. And not that you need to be trashing these other options and saying nothing else works except for what I do. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you can address these things and say, hey, this may be helpful. This is actually good in a way, but it's insufficient. It's not going to get you all the way to this goal because blank. And that's where you come in. That's what you need to be doing. And this is something that is just essential to marketing. You need to be addressing, what we would call the old methods. And so if you keep going forward and ignoring GLP-1s and all these other things that seem like miracle cures and the magic button to get what they want, well, you're going to keep getting the objections more and more of, I need to think about it. I'm not sure. Let me do my research. I'll get back to you. And you will just never hear from those people again.
And I mean, I know more from the AI side because that's more of our space and where we live than on the GLP-1 side. But as someone who teaches marketing and we teach copy and we teach all of these different things to help you run your business and to get clients, if we say AI sucks and AI doesn't work and don't use AI, that's just a turnoff. That's just going to repulse the people who we could be helping. Whereas if we say, hey, it is a great tool, but if used improperly, these are the results that you're going to get. And if you use it correctly with all of these different frameworks, with the right data inputs, with all the right overall holistic picture for your business, these are the kind of results you can get. And that's a lot more people get that. They understand it. It's enticing to them and it shows the holes. Like there are holes in AI. If you try to build a business and only listen to AI, you're going to kind of end up with a really messed up business. Whereas if you use it strategically within a bigger plan and strategy and other things that come from a human being that you trust, that you value how they've built their business and what they teach and what they do, that's where the magic happens. So what does this mean to you and how do you use this information going into 2026 to make sure you're going to have a phenomenal year? Like kind of walk us through this process.
Well, I'd say that the basics of marketing, the principles that make a business successful, those are not going to change. You still need to be focusing most of your attention on that top of funnel, getting exposure, getting out in front of new people that are your target audience, and building an audience and then stay in front of that audience. We talk about the 7-11-4 rule all the time on this podcast. 7 hours of interaction with your brand across 11 different touch points and 4 different platforms. That's what it takes on average. This is what Google has found through their millions of data points over how many decades of being in existence, what it takes to earn a customer online. 7 hours of interaction with your brand across 11 different touch points and 4 different platforms. So get in front of new people, stay in front of those people, nurture them to a point where they're willing to buy and join. Really, the decision to buy and join comes before they ever jump on a sales call, before you ever pitch your product or your service. The decision to buy from you is made in that nurturing process. So it's super important that you stay in front of people and nurture them to a point where they're ready to buy and join. So that is never going to change. So you always need that going in your business. Beyond that, if you feel like you do not have a unique message, if you have not addressed these market disruptors in your marketing, in your VSLs, in your webinars, in your challenge, in your lifelong, whatever it is that you're doing, in any other content that you've created online, then you need to start addressing that and do the depositioning thing. If you haven't listened to that episode, I would highly suggest you find that. Do a search in our podcast for Marty Marion's episode, because he does an excellent job of describing exactly how to deposition the competition.
And we can have we'll put in the show notes too. We can say what episode that is.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes so you can find that. But if you haven't done that in your marketing, you need to do that. And if you want some help figuring out exactly how to do that, how to script it out, how to address it, and how to make a convincing argument for what it is that you do, then I'd say book a free call with us and we'll do a quick evaluation of what your business is, your niche, your competitors, and how we can help position you as the go-to expert in your niche. We'll have a link for that in the show notes as well. But those are going to be the main things. Get in front of new people, stay in front of new people with the right message, and deposition that competition. And that's something that's going to be changing constantly as new things come into the market, whether it's this year or next year. You're always going to have to be on the lookout for what that new thing is that people are considering so that you can take that into account into your messaging.
Awesome. So we'll have the links in the show notes and description, guys. Find that podcast episode. I think it'll be really helpful for you. And then if you want to talk, there'll be a link in there to meet with us, chat, and get this rolling. Thanks for being with us, guys, and celebrating our 200th episode on the Digital Trailblazer podcast. And here's to a beautiful, successful, abundant 2026. God bless and take care. You've been listening to the Digital Trailblazer podcast. The strategies and earnings mentioned by our guests represent their individual experiences and results. Nothing shared on this show should be considered a guarantee of earnings or success. The views, opinions, and claims expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official views of the Digital Trailblazer podcast or its hosts. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, legal, or business advice. Please do your own research and consult with qualified professionals before making any business decisions.